This is the Night Wolf howling at you, and today we're going to take a look at the G.I. Joe Classified series, Snakeeyes. This is based on the fourth version of Snakeeyes released in the original toy line. On the side, we just get some nice artwork, and this is actually more arty, I would say, than what we've been getting, where it's a little bit more gritty, I guess. Then on the back, we've got our product shots with some Cobra fangs in the back, which I'm kind of surprised Hasbro hasn't made those yet for Classified. And on the side, we get the same bullshit that we always get. But let's go ahead and open this sucker up, shall we? Okay, I can't get him to work with a stand right now. Alright, so here comes his weapon here. We have a small hand machine gun, removable clip, and removable suppressor. I like the paint job on it. The red and the black look really good together. We have a grappling hook with some rope. Now, the original toy version of this came with a grapple launcher. So, spring-loaded, all that fun stuff. Then we got this little thing for swords, which originally I think came with the movie version of Storm Shadow. I am not a fan of this thing. And of course, we got two katanas. With a little red line there at the blade. His swords were red in the original toy. This thing holds in there okay, not great. Alright, so we got his head sculpt here, where he's wearing a totally different mask setup. The blue and the black here. It looks nice, honestly. We got blue goggles. They used a nice silver metallic shiny paint for his mask part, the mouth visor area, I guess. And as always, he's got his whole head covered. I like this head sculpt. It's kind of interesting. This is a unique version of Snakeeyes, I feel like. We got a holster here on the side, which... You know what? That looks really bad. I think this is stupid. I'm not even sure how this is supposed to go in there. Like that, maybe? Like, why did they design this holster like this? This is stupid. And then we got, you know, a sheath of throwing knives on his legs. Why didn't you give us some throwing knives to go with it? I mean, you just kind of have to have it hold in there like that friction grip here, you know? And that's not even a very good hold. So that's stupid. That is just stupid, in my opinion. And then the swords fell off because, as I said, they go in there, but they don't stay in there very well. At least this is a hard plastic, unlike some of the backpacks where it's been a soft one. But one of the things they need to redesign is this kind of sword pack that they do for these guys like that. I don't like it, and I never have. Alright, so let's talk about our articulation here. The head is on a ball joint. And so is the neck, and the neck is moving more than the head actually is, to be honest with you. Oh, I hate that. Also, the neck does have this different design to it too, so you can kind of see the bottom part of his mask on there, you know. But we can kind of look down. We can look up a bit, not much. Look over, look over. I had to move his neck all the way to the side, kind of to get it to stick into the place so that it doesn't move as much. but then we can still do the chicken neck thing. We do have butterfly joints. They don't move very well at all. The arm can hinge up and down and spin around. That hinge is very, very strong. And again, the butterfly joint doesn't move at all very much. Honestly, it looks like Snakeeyes' body here is probably a, quote, naked torso, just painted blue. I can't tell for sure because I can't actually get the vest off of here without, like, heating them up and shit. We do have a bicep cut still. We have a double joint in the elbow. A little color mismatch between the arms and the elbow, however. We can spin at the wrist. He has in and out articulation on that wrist. And he has the up and down articulation on the other wrist. We can spin the waist at 360. I can't tell you if this is an ab crunch or a boob cut at the moment because I can't seem to be able to figure that out myself. I think it's an ab crunch. Nope, it's a boob cut. It looks, well, I'm about 70% sure that there's an ab crunch in here, but because of this vest, you can't do anything with it. That being said, we do have the thigh cut. The legs can spread out this far for those high ninja kicks. Kick forward and he can kick back like that. I don't know why. We do have the individual drop down hips on him. I think they're individual. Because we got the one figure a while ago that did not seem to have individual drop down hips, right? Remember? We do have the knee bend. We have a boot cut, and his boots do go up and over the cut, so that's kind of cool. We have a hinge and a spin down here. And I think I just screwed that whole thing up, didn't I? Okay. He does have a split toe, as you can see here. I'm not sure what I think about the way they place the arm guard on him, though. Like, it doesn't seem to move. Or maybe it does. Okay, it does actually move. Never mind. So we can kind of slide the arm guard itself up a little bit so that it's more off to the side instead of underneath his arm. The belt is attached to his diaper. And we have his two swords, so we can have him be like the leader of the Ninja Turtles. And because he did exist back in the 90s, we do have his file card. Snakeeyes, Commando, file name, classified. SN, classified. Primary military specialty is infantry. Secondary military specialty, hand-to-hand combat instructor. Birthplace, classified. Grade, E7. Snakeeyes honed his combat skills as a long-range recon patrol trooper in Southeast Asia and perfected his mystical martial arts techniques with the same ninja clan that produced Storm Shadow. Although he is equally adept with machine guns as he is with swords, Snakeeyes is most dangerous and unpredictable when he's armed and cornered. When Hawk went to Snakeeyes' cabin to recruit him for duty with G.I. Joe, the silent ninja was out hunting rabbits, barehanded. He's generally regarded as the primo baddest dude of all the G.I. Joes. When we need somebody to sneak up on a Class A major bad guy and pop a can of butt kick on him, Snakeeyes is the man for the job. The bad guy could be in a fortress on top of a sheer cliff, but that wouldn't bother old Snakeeyes none. He'd just whip out his handy grappling hook missile and use it to shimmy his way up the cliff face until he cornered the culprit, threw him down, and took his name. That kind of references that grapple gun that I was talking about that the original toy came with. So as far as the sculpting goes on this figure, I think he looks really good. I think they did an excellent job. It's too bad they couldn't work a way into keeping the ab crunch functional with that vest, but you know, that's happened with so many figures at this point, and it's not even funny anymore. That holster design, though, is pretty stupid. The best I can come up with how it's supposed to fit is how I've got there, where the handle's at the front and the barrel's at the back like that, and that just looks bad. Plus, there's no place to attach the suppressor on him, and you're not going to carry a gun with a suppressor like that. You know what I mean? That just looks silly. The grappling hook, I mean, it's there because he had the one in the original toy in the vintage line. So that's why they gave us that. Otherwise, to be honest, most of those grappling hooks have been pretty useless and stupid. But it also allows them to charge a ridiculous amount of money for these figures at this point. His swords look nice, but again, I think they're just reused from previous figures as well. Because I think those are the same swords that came with like Agent Helix as well. But the red paint to the blade is a nice touch. The head sculpt looks phenomenal. I'm glad they used a metallic silver paint though on there, because I think if they just done with a dull paint, it would have been kind of boring. Although they didn't chrome it, which is probably good also, because I think Cobra Commander is the only figure that should have that chrome paint going on. You know what I mean? That being said, I never had this guy in my original toy line, but this version of Snakeeyes is pretty badass looking. I actually wouldn't mind seeing a repaint of this version though too, you know, going for more stealthy, perhaps different equipment attached to him. And by equipment, I mean like the add-on gear there. I do think he should have come with some actual throwing knives that you could have put in his hands though, since they're going to give us the sheath that shows the throwing knives. The G.I. Joe team has been doing a really good job of, you know, giving us sheaths like that with the actual knives. So I'm kind of surprised they didn't do that here, you know, but maybe it would have stood out too much. But again, the separate throwing knives would have been great to have. So yeah, I do like this figure. I think he is worth the money. Good for your Snakeeyes collection. How many were there in the original line? Like 7 at this point, I think. But why don't you guys let me know what you think in the comments below, and if you had this version of Snakeeyes back in the 80s, I'm kind of curious what you think compared to that. And if you did enjoy this review, feel free to ninja kick that damn button. And if you want to hear more of my nonsense in the future, you can subscribe. I thank you for watching. Peace and love.